After reviewing the start of the series, I'm really interested to take a look at episode 3, which I haven't seen in a while, so let's see if it holds up. This episode starts out with Twilight helping Applejack with her work around the farm to win a bet with Big Mac.
If I win, he's gonna walk down Stirrup Street in one of Granny's girdles.
Okay, that's an image I did not need in my head. And now we see that Princess Celestia has sent tickets to the Grand Galloping Gala through Spike, but there are only 2 tickets, so now we are introduced to the conflict of the episode. This is probably my main problem with the episode. We have seen this storyline and concept done multiple times, and you can already predict how the episode is going to go. And no, you cannot use the excuse that this is early in the series. Applejack tells Twilight why she would like to go to the Grand Galloping Gala so she can make money for her family selling delicious treats and things like that, which is actually a really touching thing, which honestly this makes the most sense to give the ticket to Applejack, unlike some of the other characters who really want to go for more selfish reasons. And right before Twilight was about to give the ticket to Applejack, Rainbow Dash overhears and gives her explanation to why she wants to go to the gala.
One would be watching the sky, their eyes riveted on the Wonderbolts. But then, in would fly Rainbow Dash.
Rainbow Dash can get a little annoying in this episode. Next up, Pinkie Pie discovers that Twilight has 2 tickets to the gala. And that leads into the second song of the series. And yeah, I have some mixed feelings on this.
Oh, the Grand Galloping Gala is the best place for me.
Yeah, this was a big problem I had with season 1. These weird, random little short songs that Pinkie would spurt out happened a lot in season 1, and I was not a fan. I get it, it's still a little girl show at its core, and this was only the 3rd episode before the Brony fandom really blew up and got big, but still, this song isn't engaging, and especially since in the last episode, Giggle at the Ghostly was a really good song, and this just really just didn't do that justice, and it just really wasn't that good of a song, and you're gonna hear me repeat this in future reviews. Then we see why Rarity would want to go to the gala, and basically she just wants to be admired for being beautiful and from a small town and wants to find love? What? And here we are told about Prince Blueblood, which apparently is Celestia's nephew. And I know this is only the 3rd episode and the rest of the series has not been established yet, but this brings up so many questions looking back at this episode. Like, who the heck is his mother? Because only sister we know of that Celestia has is Luna. So does that mean this is Luna's son? I can't wrap my brain around it. Like, And then Fluttershy throws in why she would like to attend. It's animals, it's animals, it's animals, it's animals. They all start to fight over who should get the ticket and whose reason is better, and yeah, that was a Brady Bunch reference. Twilight must not like those because she just stops it so quick. And then we go through a bunch of stuff of the main 6 trying to win over Twilight, doing favors and things of that nature, which just cementing the fact that we have seen this plot many, many times before. And there's not really much uniqueness added to this. It's just the same stuff we've seen before, just with ponies. And Yeah, there's occasionally some funny things here, but it's just the main six over and over again, just offering favors and trying to win over Twilight, and it's not the most entertaining thing to watch. Don't get me wrong, it's not terrible or over the top, like, oh, turn off this episode. It doesn't make for a terrible plot, but the fact is you just can't ignore the fact that this has been seen countless times before, and yeah, it's just, there is some uniqueness thrown in there with things such as, just as the characters, just, I guess it can be unique, but I really don't know how to convey that. But it is a little funny when the rest of the town gets involved. It's a little funny there, so, but yeah, it's just pretty generic to see how this goes. Oh, and don't think I forgot to mention the other song in this episode. Yes, there are two in this episode, and this one is, if not more annoying than the last.
Twilight is my bestest friend, Whoopee. Pinky. Cutest, smartest, all around best pony.
This song is just, like, I don't even know how to describe it. This is one of the songs in the show that makes me ashamed to say I know the words to every song in the show. Now, this is just so kiddie. This sounds like it'd be on one of those little kids' YouTube videos you find on YouTube that have billions of views. Like, it's not the worst thing ever, but the fact is, it's just not engaging and is somehow worse than the previous song. Then we get a very cartoony chase sequence, which I'm okay with. This is actually a lot of fun. It's pretty funny, and it's kind of an homage to old cartoons that used to do this, and some that still do it nowadays, but it's a really interesting thing, and I see a few little references here and there to old cartoons. It's just a lot of fun to get this very simple little thing, but it's also very entertaining. There's a lot of jokes thrown in here and there throughout this segment. It's just a lot of fun. Now, a lot of people have a problem with this scene and a bunch of other scenes like it in the future of the series. And they ask the question, well, why didn't Twilight just teleport earlier? Or why don't you just teleport here? Okay, this has been a problem I've always had with this question in the fandom. Besides the easy question, plot convenience, because as you can kind of see in this scene specifically, teleportation takes concentration. You can't just straight up teleport. It takes concentration, and you have to know where you're teleporting to. You cannot just teleport. I know we've seen instances of teleporting happening really quickly in later episodes, but that's because the ponies have an idea of where they're going at that point. But in this situation, Twilight has to think, because she really hasn't teleported to the treehouse as much as, or not really at all, that we've seen in the series at this point. So there's a lot more to teleportation than some of us think, and it's not just something we can just easily explain away in the series as, why didn't you just do this? Because it seems to be a lot more of a complicated thing to do in the world of Equestria. Back at Twilight's place, she lets her friends know how much stress they are putting on her with trying to make her pick someone to take to the Grand Galloping Gala. And they, rightfully so, feel bad. But Twilight makes the smart decision, not before the main six all starts to say, we don't need the ticket and being all sweet and kind. Twilight winds up sending the tickets back to Princess Celestia.
Well, wallop my wither, Spike. Isn't that just like a boy? Can't handle the least bit of sentiment.
That was kind of sexist, don't you think, Applejack? And as you probably predicted, Celestia sends back enough tickets for all of them. Even Spike gets a ticket in a genuinely cute moment. And that was the Ticketmaster, which the episode was a pretty decent episode. Yes, I had my problems with it. I wasn't a big fan of the generic plot, but this was actually a relatively enjoyable episode, especially for only the third episode. Well, I enjoyed reviewing this, and I look forward to reviewing the next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next one.